Hello everyone, and thank you for joining my webinar on Powernet's call recording product for hosted IP PBX. This webinar is designed for agents, so I welcome you all. Now first I'm going to talk a little bit about Powernets. You may or may not know about Powernet, so I'll run through a quick couple slides just letting you know about what we do in our business and how we can help you. Our mission statement is that we enable business and communities to connect through innovative voice, data, and wireless networking solutions. We have been in the industry for 23 years, and largely that has been directed towards our agents. We do have a direct force, which I'll get to here in a couple minutes. We are headquartered here in Cincinnati, Ohio, and here in Cincinnati we have a 24/7 U.S.-based network operations center. They are here, local. They work 365 days a year. A big differentiator with us, and we really like to stress on this, is at Powernet we have dedicated account representatives that really help from pre-sale, post-sale, implementation. They're really here for you, and they're always reachable, and they're a very friendly staff that is here to help with all of your account needs. Here at Powernet we do have business, carrier, and residential solutions. And on the business side, we can range from that small business, medium business, all the way up to the enterprise level. We have products that support each size. Now I'll talk a little bit about our products. I'll break it down to a few different sections, one of which being our business section. At Powernet, we have voice termination products via, that could be TDM voice, it could be SIP trunking, all voice needs. We can also provide data circuits. So although we may not have copper in the ground everywhere, we do have agreements with every Tier 1 carrier, or most Tier 1 carriers, that allow you to have anywhere from your 10 meg dedicated circuit to your DS3 to your gig circuits. IP phone systems, which I'll get into a little bit here shortly. We do have a premise-based and a hosted phone system. Something that we've launched about 1.5 years ago, if that, is we became a Ruckus Wireless partner. Ruckus Wireless is a Wi-Fi vendor, and they have some really cool technologies and a ton of patents that really allow us to provide exceptional Wi-Fi service with less access points than the competitor, and they have some really cool smart Wi-Fi attributes as well. Keep an eye out for some Ruckus webinars that we do. We do them frequently, and they could be very beneficial. We also have call center products. Our Net Dialer product had won Internet Telephony Magazine awards, back-to-back years. We have a dedicated high-volume, short-duration platform that is used for call centers. When I say dedicated, it means no other traffic goes through that switch. We have agreements with all of our vendors that allow them to accept the traffic and really give you some better rates. Now, over the last 12 months, we've really seen a growth in these two products, the next two products here. First of which being managed services. That really allows us to go in and manage a customer's network, whether it be their switches, their routers, firewalls, phone systems, whatever it may be, on a monthly recurring charge. But it kind of allows them to utilize our services. They don't have to use some internal staff for that. And allows them to focus on their business. And finally, our network services product. We launched this about 1 year ago. We've seen a huge need for customers who have the want and need for people like us to go in and analyze their network, identify any vulnerabilities, figure out ways to optimize their network, and that's where we come in and we do all this for them. We'll do a network assessment, design them a network, configure a network, migrate their networks, etc. And it allows them to really take advantage of new technologies and reduces exposure to security vulnerabilities and whatnot. Next are our carrier products. We do have international and domestic carrier termination products available, and we have a carrier services division that works with that. We've also launched multi-dwelling unit products. So when I say multi-dwelling unit, I'm referring to your off-campus student housing, your assisted living facilities, those type of things. We can provide internet, DirecTV, and digital phone service to these locations. We are a DirecTV authorized reseller, and like I said, internet and digital phone service also. So these can either be bulk for the an entire property, or we can even break some services up where, maybe the individual will just buy their phone. Now, we do have a couple different channels, and I talked about this earlier, but we have been part of the agent channel for a long time, 23 years in fact, since we've been in business, and we've relied heavily on the agent channel. We're dedicated to making the agent channel, our primary source of revenue. But we also do have a direct channel that does sell to the tri-state area. When I say tri-state, I'm saying tri-state to Cincinnati, so we have the greater Cincinnati area, northern Kentucky, Indiana, that whole market. So traditionally, the direct channel has been really our test bed for our products. So if I'm launching a new product, we'll launch it direct first, and if it works, we'll work out all the kinks and really close all the margins of error or potential margins of error. That way, when we launch that out to the agent channel, that it's really airtight and our processes are locked down, and it allows for the best customer experience. Okay, the different types of services. So now I'm going to get into our hosted a little bit, since this call recording platform does sit on top of our hosted system. If you're not familiar with hosted, I'm just going to go through a couple differentiators here that show you the difference. So first of which is premise. So a premise-based phone system does sit at the client's location, probably in a phone room or a server room somewhere with some wires hanging out of it. All of the features and functionality that you expect from a phone system, so your call forwarding, call waiting, auto attendance, multi-line hunt groups, those type of things, they all sit in that server room or phone room somewhere, and all the services are given from that box. Service can be delivered locally over a few different mediums. So you can have your standard internet connection for voice over IP. You could have T1 PRIs, primary rate interface connections, or even analog lines. Analog lines, PRIs, are becoming less and less common with the rise of VoIP services. I think I read somewhere by 2019, 80% of businesses will be running voice over IP. And we've seen that trend upwards, the last few years. VoIP is becoming extremely popular. A downfall of the premise-based system is that you do have to worry about things like multi-site customers. There's not an easy way to overcome multi-site customers. Say I have a customer that has 10 locations. Connecting all of those phones to a single system can kind of become tricky. You have port forwarding and firewall issues at each location you have to worry about, and it's not really the most efficient way to do things. Now, to talk about our hosted system a little bit, and again, this is like a 10,000 foot view overview of the hosted system. We do have webinars that semi-frequently that talk more about our features and functionality, but the phone system is located in Powernet's co-location facility, and it only allows IP-based handsets. So, our switch is a carrier-grade switch. It sits on a variety of redundant servers and gateways with redundant power supplies and all of that type of stuff, redundant network connections. All the features and functionality of your phone system sits in our colo on that switch. So we really, can give you that 5 nines reliability. Service is delivered via internet connection only, so it is voice over IP. We don't have the T1 PRI option or analog option. And something that I really like about the system, and a lot of our customers feel the same way, multi-site is very beneficial. I have a site with 10 locations. They all run off the same switch. They can 4-digit extension dial each other. The phones can be taken anywhere and just work seamlessly. So it really embraces your multi-site. Now, a few reasons that I see customers moving from a premise-based system to a hosted-based system, cloud-hosted type system. Reliable infrastructure with better support. Like I said, 5 nines reliability because you are in this carrier-grade, multi-million-dollar switch. So it's not just some small box sitting in a phone closet somewhere. I mean, it has all the nuts and bolts that you'd expect it to have. It's very high-quality piece of equipment. Another good reason is it allows Powernet. We have on-site certified technicians here at Powernet and our network operations center that are constantly monitoring the state of the systems. So if there's an issue, our knock, we'll more than likely see it before our customers will. So it allows us to adapt, overcome these issues, and make sure they're resolved very quickly. The next thing is it's cheap. Minimal upfront investment with lower operating expenses. So, PBX boxes that sit in your phone closet somewhere, they aren't cheap, and it requires customers who may have not budgeted for something like that to spend a lot of capital that they may have used elsewhere. Our hosted system doesn't require that because you're just buying the handsets, and the handsets are often, they're spread over a 36-month term. So there really isn't a capital investment that the customer needs to have. Maybe if they need some cabling or something like that, they'll have to buy that up front. But as far as capital expense goes on the hosted system, very low. And operationally, it's cheap also. Beautiful thing about our hosted system is you can upgrade the features without purchasing new equipment. Our phones are constantly updated with new firmware updates. Our switch, on the other hand, is also updated. We do probably 3 or 4 updates a year to our switch on the back end to implement new features. And a lot of these features the customer gets at no cost. Some of which are, if we introduce a collaboration feature or something like that, it may be a chargeable feature to our customer, but a lot of stuff is just our customer gets the benefit of us managing the switch. And as you know, in 2015, there are features all the time. Everybody's trying to stay competitive, and we can really leverage technology in this day and age to help businesses run more efficiently. Minimal IT support required. A lot of organizations have dedicated phone guys, and they've had them for a long time, and that's fine. And we provide an admin tool for our end customer, for someone who may be a little more tech savvy, so they can manage their own system through our web portal. But a beautiful part about it is also they don't have to support the hardware. We're doing that. So all hardware is supported by Powernet as far as the switch is concerned. So it's all handled on the back end and allows you to focus on your business. Better flexibility and scalability. I like this part because on our end, it can scale up or down very easily and very quickly. If you're an expanding business and you're opening 5 locations a month, we can adapt to that pretty quickly and send drop ship phones to whatever location they can be up and on the system, in a matter of days. All right, so that was a 10,000 feet view overview of the hosted PBX system. Like I said, we do have webinars pretty frequently that really get into the nuts and bolts of this. So it's really expand upon our unified communications capabilities also, which I didn't really touch on, but we have embraced the unified communications adaptation, where we have a desktop application, we have a mobile application. These applications allow you to jump calls back and forth. They have chat features and video conferencing, that sort of stuff. That also sits on top of our hosted PBX system. We've really embraced that, and now I'll talk about call recording, which is another add-on feature that can really help take you to the next level. So a little bit more about recording. It is an enhancement that provides an affordable, its license cost is very cheap, full-featured call recording and call quality monitoring solution. It allows clients to search, find, categorize recordings based on a few different things. They can search by their time of date, they can search by phone numbers, whether incoming or outgoing. They can search by area code. So let's say I know I've been getting some harassing calls from Terre Haute, Indiana, an 812 number. I can search by 812 number and I can listen to those calls, or I can record on demand. Access to the calls is provided by a web interface, so you don't actually have to download any software, which a lot of our customers like, because you can just log into a web portal and you can log into it from anywhere. So you're on vacation, one of your employees has an issue, a customer service issue, and you want to listen to the call, you can log into the web portal, listen to the call. So very easy. All right, a little bit more about the features. It does have live monitoring. So one thing that's beneficial, and I look at it a few different ways. So customer service is obviously a big player in this recording world, but training also, sales training. If I have a salesperson that I'm training on something, I can monitor their calls and help them through a situation by listening to what they're talking through. Sorry. On-demand recording. So by default, whenever we provide you this service, we can program a phone number um, into the call recording system. That can be recorded all the time, or it can be on demand. If it's on demand, the customer simply just has a little button, a little record button that they press. They start recording the calls, and you have it. And when the call ends, the recording stops, and now you have it in the database to search and listen to. Multi-tenancy, I debated on putting this on here, but multi-tenancy, it really benefits us and the customer. So on our end is we have a cluster of servers in our colo center or colocation that does, we basically partition out those servers for our customers. So for the customers, they are on our cloud platform, and similar to the hosted suite in general, is when we do upgrades, you reap the benefits. So it's kind of beneficial for both me as Powernet and you, the customer. Now, like I said, multi-criteria searching is important. You can search by so many different attributes of a call that it's really pretty beneficial. Call exporting. So a call can be exported, as a WAV file. It can be sent as an email. So there's multiple ways to pull that call out of the system and send it somewhere or do something with it. Filtering is another one. So let's say you're an organization that has multiple groups. You can filter based on what group it is. If I have a certain customer care group or whatever. Or if I want to filter by user. If I know that I want to listen to calls that David has had over the last 7 days, I can filter by David and would be good to go. Calling programs. So calling programs are pretty cool. So not everybody wants to record all of their calls all of the time, 24 days or 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. But what they may want is to set up a campaign that will be recorded. And I know I'm doing a call blitz for a certain product I'm selling over the next 7 days. I can go into the system, I can set a calling program, and I know for the next 7 days that whatever users I designate to be a part of that calling program, it will be recorded. Now, the next thing is expanded codec support. So long are the days that G711, G729, those common codecs are part of, are really the only option you have as far as compression and decompression goes in voice. Well, now we have something called G722, which you may be familiar with, which is high definition calling. Silk is another one, which is a codec that Skype adopted or really invented years ago and is now open to the public. So we, one, support those type of codecs. Two, we are always looking to include new codecs, Opus or whatever it may be, into our system. So basically our goal is if you make a call and you want it to be recorded, we'll be able to support it regardless of the codec. And finally, storage. Storage is important to a lot of our customers because, legal reasons or whatever your business model is and these recorded calls, you need them for a long time. So by default, we do have 120-day storage on an individual case basis that can be increased. And what we can also do is we can put these calls on an FTP server. You log into a web interface, you download all of them for, download all of your calls over the last 180 days or 365 days, whatever it may be. So that's an overview of the features. A lot of benefits there. Before I get into the next slide, I do want to talk about vertical markets a little bit. So I've mentioned customer care a little bit. I think that's the elephant in the room. That's the easiest one. I've seen legal field use it quite extensively due to the need to record client phone calls. I've seen sales staff, in any vertical use it, just be, for training opportunities. So the point is that it can be used anywhere, in my opinion, and it's so cost effective that it really doesn't hurt adding that feature on for monthly charge, and you have it to use it if you need it. All right, quoting and pricing made easy. I planned a demonstration here. I'm actually not going to be able to pull that up, but I do want to go over, especially if you're an agent and want to learn, how this works and how this is quoted. So if you're familiar with the Powernet quote template, basically for all of our services, we give you one page where you can quote, let's say you're hosted PBX. We'll give you one page where you can say that you need 7 Polycom VVX 500s, you need 25 Polycom VVX 600s, and 5 Polycom VVX 300s. You're going to need 21 lines with that, and let's see, a couple of a la carte features. You're going to need voicemail to text, and you're going to need call recording. You don't have to worry about what users are going to have call recording. We'll take care of that once we get the order. We'll talk with the customer. We'll work through all that. But you know that you need 15 licenses. You type in number 15. It's going to give you a quote, and you're good to go. You can propose to the customer. The point is that we make it very easy for you to quote and close the deal. You don't have a lot of paperwork. You have your one-page quote template. You have one service order, and it allows you to turn over sales pretty quickly. All right, if you have any questions, you can contact Anton Loon. He is our VP of Agent Sales. Again, here's his number. You can contact him at 866-645-4970, or you can email him. Email is a perfect way to contact him. He'll get it any time. aloon@powernetco.com. And I thank you all for your time today.